Okay. It'd be a good idea to document some of this, just because somewhat of an interesting beast. I apologize in advance for the noise. I'm in my garage right now. This, of course, is a Fender amplifier, guitar amp, Super Reverb, 410 cabinet, and this particular variant outputs 40 watts. I've worked on these before. There are several different variations of it. It's not the oldest vintage, but it is older by my reckoning. This thing, the poor gal, looks like it's been kept in a barn. Either that or a very humid basement dungeon, if you like. There's rust all over places. This particular model has Kesters on it. Those do function, although even those would need attention given rust. I've seen worse working. I've only done a cursory look at things. Yeah, these amp support slides on top. This one seems to be pretty much okay. This one's totally blasted. And it's to the point where I would tend to take some measures to keep this side of the amplifier from dropping out of the cabinet. Thing's got mildew all over it, as I said, rust. It's all here though, and from what again, just a cursory look, from what I can tell, it is all original, maybe, certainly except for the tubes. Some things I've already noticed about some of that we'll certainly get into. The Tolex on this thing is shot. On the top it looks like it's got pigeon shit on it. Pardon my French. It's pulling away here and is all wrinkled. As far as the cabinet itself, at least for the most part, seems to have fared fairly well. The corners down here are just nothing but rust. I mean, they're barely functional, but there they are. Rust. Both stands are in place and functional. Rust all over them. Pitted with it. But they function. This was picked up alongside of the road by a friend of mine. Somebody was just throwing it away. They did not really understand what it was they had. In some cases, these things the parts are worth more than the whole. And when the whole is in this kind of condition, you're kind of getting into that territory. I am not going to do a full restore on this thing. I'm not even going to do a full repair on this thing. All I'm going to do is just an analysis of what have we got here, what works, what doesn't, and get with him, my buddy, and we'll find out how we want to proceed or how he wants to proceed. For me, it's just going back. I've not worked on one of these beasts other than my own stuff for years, especially to see one. So this poor gal, I would love to see her singing again, and I think, from what I've just a cursory look, I think she will. It may be she ain't pretty, but you get one of these working right there. They're kind of nice. I play, but the owner of this, the new owner of this, I consider a virtuoso. So he'll be able to tell me whether it's up to prime or not. Once I get it working, if I get it working, and I think there's a pretty good chance, unless there's serious trouble with some of the iron and the transformers in it, that gets expensive. I already know there's tubes that need to go. I have some I can pop in there, for the very least for testing purposes. So, this drill cloth, it's dirty, but I don't know, with the right knowledge in hand, that could possibly be cleaned. I am not going to attempt that. I'll leave that for the aficionados. But yeah, she's had her feelings hurt some. Lord knows what I'm going to find up inside the chassis, and I am going to pull it, of course. The speakers, well, I'll turn around in a moment and I'll look at that. But before I do it, I've already noticed the speaker panel is, the fasteners are loose. What the few of them that are left are loose. And I see marks along this aluminum fascia here where somebody's taken a screwdriver to pry this out, which it will do, because the fasteners that are in there engage nothing. This panel is just sitting in there. I'm not going to pull it all the way out. Do that later, but you see the situation. Not good. These panels of particle board, it's good stuff. I mean, for its purpose. It's very dense and stiff and heavy, which you want for this. Problem with that particle board is it does not play well with moisture, humidity. It absorbs it. It's very, very thirsty composite material. Basically sawdust and glue. Good material for this application, but don't let it out in the rain or the drippy basement or wherever this poor gal's been stowed. Let's see, anything else from the front yet? Not much. Squeaky casters. All right, rear forward. Oh, the casters, these things weigh in about, what I see, 85 pounds. Yeah, carrying this around is a bit of a workout. This is pretty much the condition that it was found. But for when he brought it here, you know, I did look down just to see what was down in the bottom here and what's up top. You know, is it even worth looking at or get it out of here? This was, oh yes, it's worth looking at. Some stuff down in the bottom, of course. There was an old patch cord, probably the original one the original owner was using with the thing, so he took that away. Some things to note. The original foot switch is there. Yay! It's been, in quotes, repaired. That can easily be fixed. Don't care a whole lot about that right now, but it's there. And floating right down the bottom, so there's that. Get him out of the way. The reverb pan is there with its, what appears to be original RCA connections. It's got its cover on it, good sign. It kept some of the pigeon poop out of it. It's kind of, one end of it has lost its mooring. Not sure why that should be. And I think the fastener's there, but it just tore through the cover. You know, the way these things are mounted, it's kind of dicey, because it has to be isolated acoustically. This I find interesting. Your package of Radio Shack fuses. Fast-acting fuses. 4 of them. This package has not been opened, and there are 4 of them in there. So, not sure why these are in here. I thought at first, this uses a 2 amp slow time delayed fuse normally. So I looked, there's no fuse. The fuse cap's there, that's interesting. Usually with no fuse in it, these things, they roll on you, it's goodbye. But I was feared that somebody, because this amp had problems, had been stuffing 4 amp fuses in it because it kept blowing the 2 amp ones. But that this package has not been opened suggests otherwise. Maybe they were for a different amp. Who knows? Doesn't matter. They weren't. There wasn't a 4 amp fuse in here. The line cord. It's two wire. This wire is done. I don't know, it might be, it's possible it's original, but I don't know. Definitely some things I do not like about the way the cord comes out of here. There's a lot of weirdness with it. Obviously, that's not the original connector plug. That cord's done. Easy enough to fix. Here, boxes of them. The speakers, 4 10-inch, 8 ohms each. They're wired in parallel with this is 2 ohm load. 40 watts output. This seems original. Cloth covered wire. Fender F on it. Some rust. But looks like it's all there and serviceable. Don't know yet. Actually, I'm going to pull that. Drop that speaker panel. Get it out of the way while taking out the chassis since it's already loose. What the heck? That's speakers. The original Fenders. Let's see, model number. I think they have it on here. 064121. That's the model for this. Keep in mind, a lot of this is just for my own edification later. And you know, I might be curious what I was thinking, what I'm seeing. The cones. Another thing that humidity does not play well with are paper speaker cones. The bottom ones, I think this thing may have also gotten exposure to some sunlight because I noticed the paper on the backs of these, the top most especially, is grayish, where the top speakers are black. And, pushing on the cones a little bit, just a little bit. These top ones are stiffer, at least the bottoms of these top speakers are stiffer than the tops of these bottom speakers. So these, and there's some rust on these baskets. A lot of dust, grime, and dirt, and mildew. This white stuff. So, at first glance, I think the top speakers will probably be workable. The bottom ones may be too. We'll find out. But those would certainly be candidates for reconing if it turns out the cones are shot. Or the coils. I don't know anything electrically yet about any of this. Certainly not plugged it in. Your toe left rubbing up against tubes. So, what's next? I'm not going to waste time here demonstrating how to undo screws, but I am going to pull this off. I'll probably pull this. You got to watch this stuff because then the cabinet becomes unstable with this weight in it. The whole thing could just fall over. You start taking too much out at a time. So, but eventually I will to get at everything. But I think first I'm going to just pull this cover and a little exploration up here. What I'm looking at so far doesn't look too bad. The iron in this is good. The transformers are good. There's 3 transformers and a choke. It's worth something to someone. Certainly to me. Missing the rectifier tube. That's going to be a 5U4 or it was a GC 35, I think it is. That's missing. And this thing uses 606 GC tubes where you can plug in 5881s, good ones in there. They'll work. Now putting 40 watts for a guitar amp, that should go for quite a while. So I'm going to stop this right now. Make it a separate clip to snag on, or what do they call it, stitch on other stuff later. Okay, got the top panel off. Dang on it if I didn't have to drill out one of the screws. So rusty here. Get this off so you can shape it. Let's just fall off of it. Now the wood itself here seems to be plywood piece. Seems to be serviceable, so that could be recoated. If somebody would bother, that won't be me. Well, it could be me, but that's going to cost you. So what we got here? Okay, I mentioned previously rectifier tube's not even in there. You don't have much. It's something that always disturbs me. They don't mark the tube types right on the chassis. How annoying! How inconvenient. But I know where they go. I'm going to take notes anyway on this piece because I want to know what they had in there. Those will be tested. And I'll find out what some of the grief might have been over the years with this thing. Ooh, this is a little off kilter. This thing's been slammed around a little bit. That's not unusual. The condition of these top 2 drivers, I would say, is pretty good until at least back visual inspection. Did it right. So anyway, right out of the gate, there's this output tube, 606 GC. Let's call this a little bit gassy. Yeah, that white getter flash, it's got, well, you can see there's a crack. Another one here. That might simply be because somebody was trying to pull the tubes out and did not know that these have catches on them. And chink, or thought it unscrewed, or the tube simply overheated and busted the glass up at the base. That happens. I've seen it happen. I mean, I've actually watched it happen. If something makes these tubes go red plate, literally the plate's lit, they can get hot enough to fracture the glass. And these really want to be mounted this way. You know, read the manual for these tubes, they'll tell you, yeah, any position, get ready. Only in your dreams. These want to be this way, here they are this way, in an environment where there's all kind of vibrations, they wiggle out, and so they have these locking features. Yeah. They work for these type bass tubes, but not all 6L6s have these bases on them. I'll demonstrate that later on. That can be a trouble. But anyway, that's clear. That's shot. And this lonesome, his partner, her partner, getter flash is still there. Sylvania branded. Let's see, the date codes on these are completely different, so these were never matched, as you would usually do. I'm going to suggest, in fact I know, this is a later date code. It has a heat radiator on it. Oh, yeah, screen grid. Anyway, there's a heat radiator up in there. This one's kind of bare bones with an extra big bulb. Anyway, enough of that. I'll test this one and, you know, keep it for just goofing if it's any good. And maybe even if it's not, sometimes these can have, if they're a little slow, they can have use. But clearly that's fini. What else have we got here? I'm gonna, oh, pardon me while I grab my notebook. Oh, pardon me, so I'm gonna suspend this and be right back. Okay, got me pad, me pencil, and brought me along with us a 9-volt battery. We'll get into that momentarily. So let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and pull all these shields. See what we've got under there. Oh, there's that one. Not too healthy. That don't look great either. So, let's see. I've numbered these in my notes in here. And don't want it if I didn't forget to bring my Sharpie marker to mark where these came from. My apologies. Back in flash. Okay. Right. This guy here. ECCA 12A7. These are 12A7 or 12, maybe a 12AT7. I forget which spots they are. There's a 12AT7 there. So one of these drives the reverb. One of these drives a reverb pan. It's a 12AT7 I'll be able to find out, but for now, getter's still there. Who knows what shape it is otherwise. This is a Telefunken tube, known for their quality and longevity, and also their low hum. Looking at I did get a cursory look over some of the drawings for this series, and they use the 70-25 tubes. They're basically 12AX7s with very careful attention to coupling between the heater and cathode sleeve for hum reduction. Among some other things, they tend to not be as microphonic as the old 12AX7. I'm sorry, 12AX7As. The A, that was a designation that it was an improvement over the original 12AX7 microphonics and noise. So that's a Telefunken. I hope that works, because if it is, if it does, that's a good choice. So we'll put it in a very safe spot here after we mark in which socket came out of. In this case, label 4. Yeah, number 4. That's the second 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can get set aside. And what's this? Socket's nice and thick. Well, these, the tube shields. You know, the tube didn't really need shielding in some cases. The shields are a bayonet lock, so the tube can't fall out from vibration if they wiggle loose. These, of course, hold larger tubes that you can't go put shields on because it gets so hot. This also is a Telefunken, made in Western Germany, not just West Germany. ECC 83. I forget what that is. We'll find out. By the looks of the innards, I'd say that's either a 12AE7 or a 12AT7. It's an AT. Again, we'll find out. For all I know, whoever was dorking around with this last put just had totally wrong tubes, or had the right tubes put in the wrong spots. Not terribly important right now. Getter looks good. Yeah. Tag it and bag it. Test it later. It's be number 5. This, different brand, not a Telefunken. It's RCA branded. Yeah, this is actually a 70-25. To look at the date code, oh geez, it's kind of worn off. Well, maybe not, I see. Yes, maybe remnants of it, I'll find out. I think this is an actual RCA. I don't see the GE dots and stuff on it. So at least there's one 70-25 in the piece. Again, it's just a 12AX7 of a quieter variety. And that's going to be number 6 and marked. And this one. This one does not look healthy. This is a 12AT7 ECC 81. Okay, so the other one I called ECC 81, I think that was number 4 here. This one I can actually read it. Another Telefunken, 12AT7. This one's shot, and I can see just from looking at it that for a number of reasons. One, it's gassy. That getter flash is brown. It's just used up. It's this tube, I don't think there's a crack in it. that it was a catastrophic loss of vacuum. It's just outgassing the materials within the glass envelope itself. Not to mention the stains all around this glass, around everything. That current's, this tube's seen some hours, and it's been stressed. I doubt this is working at all. You never know, it's still, but I wouldn't use it, other than for comparison and testing purposes. You know, what happens if you plug this tube into a working, that kind of thing. So, this gets bagged and tagged, right? Or tagged and bagged, whatever the order is. So he's number 7. And, what else? This guy. Another RCA, 7025, good. The getter is somewhat depleted. You know, there's still some silver left, but around the edges it's gotten a bit white. Usually an indication that it's got some age on it. You know, outgassing from the elements within. And around these pins, I don't, this is not happy color, but I see some green corrosion. That's more than likely the socket than it is the tube. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to find when I drop this chassis and have a look under the hood. But even if it's not salvageable, it's in there are, I'm sure, useful components within that somebody would like to die for. So anyway, with that, at the market. So that's this guy. Yeah, it's number 8 in this lineup. And finally, this guy. I can see already it's toast. That getters. I don't know, maybe these RCA tubes may have been the original tubes in this amp. In any event, they've got some use on them. Yeah, that getter's gone. This is gassy. That's 7025 RCA. Oh well. Of course, the beat question is number 9, but when you've got cats, you have to be very careful about keeping track of stuff. Now, find out whether those were in their correct spots and even what belongs where later on. The 9-volt battery I brought. Well, these guys. I can't wait to find out. These speakers are all at least somewhat functional. First thing, get me DMM here. Do a quick resistance check. Now these are 8 ohm speakers. They're wired in parallel, which yields a 2 ohms impedance. Of course, the DC resistance is going to be lower than that, and that's what I'm looking at here. Oh, damn close. 1.9 ohms. Wow. Well, I'll be. That's good. That's it. Let's go ahead and put some current through and see what moves and what doesn't. same phase, so would not expect phasing, but yeah, they're all moving. So the motors are working. That's excellent. That's a little, with this simple PC test, it's not going to do much in the way of detecting rubbing or anything like that, but at least the coils are not open, and none of them are shorted, which is unlikely anyway. It usually doesn't happen. As far as rubbing goes, that's a test better performed other than what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I don't want to push on these too hard and we'll poke fingers through, so we'll manage that with in a different manner later. So I'm going to cut this, make this part one of this exploration. I think next, what will probably happen is the next video I'll have already dropped the chassis out and take it from there. Maybe once I get the chassis out, do some further exploration on these drives. I have another amp I can plug this into and see how they play. If the cones are already shot, they're shot, and if you can't play through them without destroying them, they're no good anyway. So we'll put that to the test as well. Again, I apologize for the noises. I hope it didn't drown me out too much. See ya.